Hello, friends. This is Dr. Shashi Agarwal. I welcome you all. Uh, Today, our subject is Introduction to Microeconomics, and today we are going to cover the chapter 8. We are going to understand the concept of cost, and this topic is relevant for plus one students economics as well as plus one students of commerce. First of all, this is my app which could be downloaded from the Google Play Store. Link I will be sharing in the description box. This app is relevant for commerce, economics, and management students. Free study material related to commerce, economics, management, and free mock tests they are available. Even the structured courses they are also available. So let us understand the concept of the cost. For producing the output, we require factor input as well as non-factor inputs, that is raw material. To produce output, we need two types of inputs. Factor inputs, that is the land, labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship. Non-factor inputs, raw material. Cost refer to expenditure incurred by a producer explicitly, which is out of the pocket cost, or implicitly, that is the factor supplied by the producer. Costs refer to the expenditure incurred by a producer explicitly or implicitly on the factor as well as non-factor input of a commodity. So we could say cost refers to the expenditure incurred by a producer, whether it is a out of the pocket cost, the cost which is paid to the outsider, or the cost, notional cost, the factors which are supplied which are supplied by the producer as their own. So the expenditure incurred by a producer explicitly or implicitly on the factor input as well as non-factor input for a given output of a commodity. Like when a producer produces the things, he incurs certain expenditure. The expenditure which is incurred on producing the output is known as a cost. Total cost is equal to explicit cost, the cost which is paid to the outsider, like we are purchasing the raw material, we are making the payment, we are hiring the person as a labor, we are paying them salary and wages, we are paying we are paying the electricity bill, etc. These are the explicit costs which we are paying to the outsider. Implicit cost, the cost of self-supplied factors. Here to know the true cost of production, we are calculating their imputed cost or their notional cost. In economics, cost is always measured as the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means the total sacrifice made in terms of explicit like or implicit cost for producing a given level of output. Sacrifice involved in producing a given amount of output. Like we are incurring the cost, like we are making the payment to someone else. So we are sacrificing. Even we are using our own factors for the purpose of production. So here we are making the sacrifice. The sacrifice involved in producing a given amount of output includes the explicit cost and the implicit cost. So total cost is the total of explicit cost plus implicit cost. So cost is always opportunity cost. So total cost is equal to explicit cost plus implicit cost. Now we will understand what is explicit cost. Explicit cost, the cost which is paid to the outsider, it is also known as a out-of-pocket cost. So it is the opportunity cost of hiring or purchasing from the market. When a firm makes a payment to others for hiring or purchasing input from the market, like we have kept the labor, we are making the payment of wages to them. We're purchasing the raw material. We are making the payment of electricity bills. So these all are explicit cost. So what is implicit cost? That is the opportunity cost of using cell phone inputs. Like the entrepreneur, instead of borrowing from the market, he is investing his own money. He is giving his own building. It is measured in terms of the imputed cost or estimated cost of the self-owned and self-employed resources. like he's using his own building. If he has given his building for the purpose of rent, then he would have earned the rent. So here we will be estimating the cost of the here we will estimating the rent of the own building. Like if he's investing his own money, then we will be imputed. Then we will be estimating the how much interest he would have earned on his own capital by investing somewhere else. So what is the difference between the explicit cost and the implicit cost? Explicit cost is the opportunity cost of purchasing input from the market. First of all, explicit cost, the cost which we in actual make payment to outsiders. It is also called the out of pocket cost. So it is always made in terms of the cash payment that a firm makes to the outsiders for the purchase of inputs, for the purchasing of the services. Like we are making payment for the purchase of raw material, we are making payment to the workers as a wages, we are making salaries to the employees, we are paying the electricity bills, telephone bills. So these are all explicit cost. Implicit cost is the opportunity cost of using self-owned inputs. It means the owner, like he's giving his own building for the purpose of business. If he had given his own building uh, on rent to someone, he would have earned. So here we will be estimating the rent of the building. It is measured in terms of the imputed cost or estimated cost of the self-owned and self-employed resources. Like he's using his own building, like he's putting his own money in the business. Sham is doing job at engineering department at a salary of 35,000 per month. And he has a building which he has given on a rent to a tenant who was paying him rent of rupees 40,000. He left his job because he wanted to set up his own business and asked his tenant to vacate the building, and he started doing his business. He purchased inputs rupees 7 lakh from the market. So here we have to calculate the total cost in terms of the explicit cost as well as of the implicit cost. The total cost is equal to opportunity cost, which is equal to explicit cost plus implicit cost. In this case study, they have clearly said he has paid 7 lakhs to outsiders for purchase of inputs. So 7 lakh rupee is the explicit cost, which is the payment made to outsiders. Implicit cost, like he has left his job, that was paying the salary of 35,000. He has vacated his own building and using his own building for the purpose of his business. So he has sacrificed 40,000 rent as per month. So implicit cost is 75,000. So total cost is explicit cost is 7 lakh, and implicit cost, the cost of sacrifice by leaving his job and by vacating his own building and using it for the purpose of business, total is 75,000. So total cost is 7 lakh 75,000.